Good afternoon and welcome back to the West Ham Network. This is your Hammers headlines for the 21st of September in association with the guys over at kumb.com. Knees up, Mother Brown. Make sure you go across to the website, check it out, channel forum. Great West Ham content, great West Ham banter, bringing every West Ham fan from all over the world together to give you the best of the West Ham experience. So make sure you do go and check them back out. Again, we're back though with another Hammers headlines. Many stories to get through from today. So let's get straight on to the first story. And that is that West Ham are reportedly ready to entertain offers for our club captain, Declan Rice. And it looks like he could be certain to leave the club in the summer, but I think that's something that we knew. Now, Chelsea have been long-time admirers of the 23-year-old, and we do know that. And reportedly, West Ham turned down a fresh summer approach from Chelsea. Now, Rice has also turned down numerous proposals from the club, with the latest coming in May, and apparently the board offering Declan Rice an 8-year contract, according to several reports. But there is not a great feeling around West Ham at the moment, which shouldn't be the case after the summer that we had, where David Moyes was backed and given a war chest to bring in many new players. And that was going to give West Ham hope that the England international would get on board with the long-term project at West Ham. But as if you go by the initial signs, it's not looking promising for us. But of course, there is still plenty of time for our fortunes to get turned around in this season. But ultimately, Rice will be wanting to play Champions League football. And if that can be achieved with West Ham, then he may go elsewhere. And the frustrating thing is that we have brought in a higher caliber of players, but we're waiting for that click to finally click in. We're waiting for Moyes to give the players a bit of time that can really push West Ham up this league. And then it's an ever competitive Premier League. You know, we have to keep these players and keep these signings on board. But you do have some of the best clubs in the world willing to sell their best players to understand what they need to do and invest. But it's just a concern. And the fact, if you are starting to hear murmurs that the club are willing to listen to offers for Declan Rice in the summer, which, to be honest, is probably what we expected to hear. It's just a case of what West Ham can do this season to turn all this around. You know, we need to do something if there's going to be a chance of us keeping him at the club. Leave your comments, though, in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on that as we talk about the next story, and that is about Ben Johnson. Apparently, the rumours are that contracts have stalled with the right back, and we're waiting for things to kind of continue. Now, the 22-year-old is currently injured from West Ham after starting the season as a makeshift central defender due to the injuries in the squad. His current deal at West Ham runs until 2024, but West Ham are keen to tie him down to a much longer contract, and his agency, CAA Base Limited, want to wait to see how the season pans out, apparently. Now, talks could continue nearer Christmas between the two parties, but Johnson is seeming to be reluctant to sign anything that West Ham are currently putting in there, considering maybe West Ham's position in the league, which isn't great and doesn't give us a good starting point for contract negotiations. So only in February of this year did the 22-year-old England youth international sign a 2-year contract extension to West Ham and receive a handy pay rise with that as well. But Johnson has to get, and you can't blame him if he's looking for, opportunities to be in the first team, because we've now brought in really, really good quality. But his versatility has been on full show over the last year at West Ham, where he's filled in at left back at times, looking quite good. He's done a right back, and of course, he's been at centre back as well. But you can understand potentially players' hesitations and signing on the dotted line, because there's still plenty of time on the deal. But this is the situation that West Ham find ourselves in. We're transitioning as a club, but can we tie these players down to deals? We don't want to lose him, Ben Johnson, because I think he is a quality player. But put your comments in the comment section and let us know your genuine thoughts on Ben Johnson. Will he sign or will he not sign on the dotted line for West Ham? And finally, last but not least, following the arrival of club record signing Lucas Paqueta, West Ham could be looking to sell Manny Lanzini, according to several reports. Having initially arrived to West Ham on loan from Al Jazeera, The Argentinian international joined West Ham on a permanent deal in the summer of 2016 for a fee of around £9 million. Now, the 29-year-old went on to become an integral part of David Moyes' side, having amassed over 200 appearances for our club. This season, however, he's only played just 93 minutes of Premier League football, having failed to make an appearance in 4 of the West Ham's opening 7 games. And according to several reports, already West Ham are now willing to look at offloading Lanzini following the club record signing Lucas Paqueta coming into the club. And now it's believed that the Argentinian was told that he was potentially going to be looking at getting sold back in the summer window, and he was free to find a new club, whether that be on loan or on a permanent deal. But apparently struggling to find and agree terms elsewhere, he remained at West Ham. Now, he has been reportedly been informed that the situation remains the same ahead of the winter window, and he will once again be allowed to leave the club. Moyes no longer potentially views Lanzini as a key player, meaning that he is surplus to requirements at West Ham. And when comparing the two attacking midfielder stats, Lanzini comes out on top in a couple of areas, but Paqueta's all-round abilities clearly dominate the rankings compared to with, their peers in Europe over the last year. The Argentinian ranks in the 99th percentile for pass completion and in the 97th percentile for passes attempted. And in the same categories, Lucas Paqueta ranks in the 81st percentile and 88th percentile, respectively. However, Paqueta also ranks in the top 15% for shots total, progressive passes received, pressures, tackles, clearances, aerials won. Lanzini, on the other hand, ranks in the bottom 50% for 5 of those categories. Now, whilst Lanzini has been a brilliant servant for West Ham, having been hailed a special player by many of his colleagues at the club, it seems that his time at West Ham could be over, and before his contract ends, West Ham could be looking to sell. What would you do with Lanzini? Leave it in the comments section below. That brings an end to your Hammers headlines for today. Please make sure you smash that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up. Leave us a comment. Give us your honest feedback. Go and check out the guys over at kumb.com. Go and check out my West Ham Daily, where I speak about all the players' contracts that are potentially up coming for the next 12 months as well. Tonight, check out the relaunch of The Gift of the Gab. It'll be on at 11 o'clock tonight, hitting every fan from international base, where you get a chance to come in and have a chinwag with all West Ham fans in the chat as well. Thank you very much for watching. And of course, stay safe. Come on, you Irons.